Hello, hello. Let's start this live today. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this live. I'm just checking here in the other platforms. You should be streaming live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and also on Facebook. So I'm just checking if everything is okay here, if everything is working out well. Let me know. Let me see. Let me know also if you're watching already. Let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. Say hi in the chat so I know that everything is working out well. Let me see. I think it is. Let me see. Doing the final checks here. The tech part, just to make sure that it's all working out well. Yes, I think it is live on LinkedIn. Good. YouTube. Let me check. Let me see. I think it's also live on, yes, it is also live on YouTube. I'll just trust that on Facebook is also working. So Dolly said hi. Hi, Dolly. How are you doing? Nice to see you here. Where are you connecting from? So let me know in the chat. I normally have a very international audience. So starting from you, Dolly, where are you connecting from? I am today in Brazil. So it's sunny and warm here. I have the AC on. It's summertime here, so very, very warm here. I have some water because it's really warm. And thanks, Dolly, for confirming. It's live. Yes, thank you. Where are you connecting from? Let me know in the chat. I'm happy to be here. This is my second live on LinkedIn that I'm doing. I have done several lives on Instagram, some on YouTube, live events, but live on LinkedIn is my second time. So I'm really happy and excited to be here. San Antonio, Texas, nice, very nice, Dolly. You're welcome here. Today, I want to talk to you that is planning to land a remote job soon, right? You might be already searching for a remote job. You might be planning to start the remote job search soon. So in any case, this presentation, this live is going to be valid for you. So if you are already trying out, applying for jobs, doing interviews here and there, keeping an eye on remote opportunities, you're going to take value out of this presentation. But if you're planning to start that at some point in the next couple of months, also you benefit from this presentation. So my suggestion, as always, is that you keep pen and paper with you, or you open a file on your computer to take notes, because I'll share a lot of information. Our time is reduced, so I will condense a lot of things and try to add as much value as possible to you to help you in your remote job search, okay? Let me introduce myself for the ones who doesn't know me. I'm Juliana Rabi. I am a career coach for remote jobs. So after being a recruiter for more than 15 years, after have been working remotely since 2004, so it's 9 years and some months that I personally work remotely, and I am a career coach for more than 3 years also. So what I do is help my clients to be happier with their career, with their jobs, and land remote jobs faster. So I will share part of the things I share with my paying clients, with my mentoring or coaching clients. And today, of course, for you, it's going to be for free. So it's a lot of valuable information. Be ready to take notes and learn together. I want to keep the chat open from time to time. I will check it. So feel free to comment, ask questions. If something that I say is not clear, you are welcome to let me know in the chat. Also, maybe share your personal situation. If something that I say here resonates with you, I would love to read that also in the chat. All right, so let's start. So I named this class today, Want to Land a Remote Job Soon? Follow those 6 steps. All right, I think like this is better for you to read. And when I talk about remote jobs, for me at least, a remote job is not just another job. It's not just the next job that you're going to have. For me, my experience, and for most of my clients, a remote job is very different than any kind of job that you had before. Previously, that is not remote. remote. So let's see why a remote job is so special, what makes it so different, right? I could spend like 30 minutes talking about how working remotely changed my life, the opportunities that happened to me, and the experience I could live. So this could be another presentation, but I will summarize some of the things that makes working remotely so special, okay, and why a remote job is not only another job that you get. So when you work remotely, a lot of things, different things happen to your life. Okay. One of them is that you amplify your daily choices. So because you're able to choose every single day where you want to work from, this is a kind of choice that you didn't have before, right? Before you're going to the office or to the factory or to the clinic, wherever you're physically working. And that was it. You had your working table, you had your computer, maybe you're facing the wall, maybe it was a dark place, maybe it was too warm, too cold, but you couldn't do anything about it. But when you work remotely, every single day you can choose. Actually, you can choose working from one place in the morning and you can choose working from a different place in the afternoon. I do that sometimes depending on the kind of task. If I want a more quiet environment, then I work from home. And then in the afternoon, I want to do something more creative or admin tasks. And then I go to a working space or a coffee shop. So you have more daily choices. You amplify your daily choices when you have a remote job. You also learn how to optimize your time. I mean, you have to do it, otherwise it won't work for you. So instead of just being seated on the chair, like, pretending you are working for 8 hours, you actually need to get things done, right? Remote work is all about results. It's all about the outcome. So when you work remotely, one of the things you will learn is to optimize your time to get more results done faster. So you don't need to be necessarily the 8 hours, working seated on the chair. As far as you get the work done, it applies for some kind of remote jobs, not to all of them, but in general, you learn to optimize your time when you work remotely, and then you make the most of it while you're working and outside of work also. Another thing that makes working remotely special is that you have time to do the things that really matters to you. And I'm referring to things outside of work, because I know you care about your career, I know you care about your job, that's why you're here, right? But I know you also care about other things, like about your hobbies, about spending time with your family, about walking your dogs, about exercising, being in shape, cooking your own food, or going for long walks, or reading, or learning a new language. Whatever you like to do outside of work, when you work remotely, you have more time to do it, because you save time commuting, you save time in the office, right? Instead of going to the office, you do that from different places. So potentially you're going to save a lot of time. And this time you can use as a quality time to do other things outside of work that you really care about. I love it. It's amazing, because it's not anymore like I need to choose between my career or a hobby, or my career or spending time with my kids. You can find a way to combine all those things. That's amazing. And also, another thing that makes remote work special is that you can definitely avoid routine. I mean, you have the power to change small things in your day to make it happy. Sometimes I just change the laptop position and I'm facing a different wall or a different window, and it changed completely. It feels like I'm working from a different place. So even those small things that breaks the routine, it's good, and you can do that when you work remotely also. So that's why I say that a remote job is not just one more job that you land in your career. But then I also need to tell you a big mistake that I notice a lot of candidates, a lot of professionals making when they are interviewing for remote jobs. So they found a job, they applied for it, or someone referred them to the job, right? They finally got in front of the recruiter or the hiring manager for the interview. Yes, amazing. And then they make this mistake that you might be also making. So let me tell you this. So it's the last time you do it, in case you have ever done, or you never do it because you know it won't help you at all to land a remote job. The mistake is to accept any job as long as it is remote. I mean, accepting a job just because it is remote, or the main reason for you to accept the job is because the job is remote. And I mean, I get it. If you're watching this presentation, it's because you want to land a remote job. Like, great, I get it. But there are other elements that you need to take into consideration also when you are choosing the job you want to have, when you're accepting a job offer, when you're signing your contract. So it's not only a job is remote I'm interested. A job is remote, I'm applying for it. No, it's a bit more complex than that. I'll try to make it easier, but please keep in mind that just because the job is remote, it doesn't mean you're going to like it. It doesn't mean you meet the requirements. It doesn't mean you're going to be happy doing that job. It doesn't mean that the company, is aligned with your values, with the kind of environment you want to work in. So remember, just because the job is remote, it doesn't mean that it's a good job for you. And it doesn't mean you will land that job. So let's see more in details how to avoid that. Because if you tell a company, right, imagine you're interviewing for a remote company and you tell them, look, I want this job because it's remote and I want a remote job. Companies will never hire you because of that. This is not enough reason, at least not for them. It shouldn't be enough reason for you, where a company won't be convinced that you are the best candidate for that job just because you say, hey, I want this job because this job is remote. That's not enough. Actually, it will probably make you look bad and like with a bit lost in your career, like you don't really know what you want. That's why you're saying yes to this job just because it's remote. So as I mentioned before, I have been into the career environment for a while already, like more than 15 years as a recruiter, 9 years working remotely, three and a half years working as a career coach. So I know that if you just go for a job because it is remote, this is the only reason that you mention on the job interview or the only reason that motivates you, it will not work out well for you. Maybe you got it and you're like, yeah, Juliana, I got it. I know that I should not go for a job just because it's remote. I should evaluate all the things, right? Right. But how do I speed up the process of landing a remote job, especially in 2023 with everything that is happening in the job market, right? High competition, layoffs, people, changing jobs very fast, companies bankrupting and all of that. So how can you speed up this process of landing a remote job? How can you achieve better results in your remote job search? You might be asking yourself that. And yes, of course, we're going to talk about it. That's why I created this presentation. I want to share some insights with you to help you to land your dream remote job faster. Okay. As I mentioned at the beginning, please let me know in the chat where are you connecting from. And if you have any questions, any comments, if whatever I'm sharing resonates with you, you face a similar situation in your career or anything you want to share, please use the chat. I will keep checking it from time to time, right? But I want to keep the channel open for you to reach out to me and ask questions if you want. All right? Okay. I want to share with you, as promised, my framework, my methodology. In other words, the way I work with my clients, because I already tested everything that I'm going to share with you. I already tested and I know it works because my clients had amazing results working with me and implementing this methodology I'm going to share with you today. So some cases are faster than others. I had clients that, this example I mentioned here, after only 2 sessions with me, she landed a remote job. I actually have a video with her in my YouTube channel. Lisa, she's sharing the process and what she did in the meantime. So you can also check my YouTube channel later and watch Lisa's video. I had clients who landed a remote job working with me after 1 month, after 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months, 4 months. So the time varies, but the methodology I created, the framework that I created will definitely help you to reduce the time that you spend in your remote job search and bring you closer to your remote job. Okay, so I divided my methodology and the information I'm going to share with you in 6 steps, and I recommend you to take notes, okay, because it's a lot of information, so it's just easier if you write down every step and then some comments about it that will help you to remember, but most importantly to implement everything I'm sharing here. Okay, step number 1 that I work with my clients and it works quite well for them to land a remote job faster is clarity. Clarity, extremely important to any career coaching process, including the one to land a remote job. So clarity about your career goals, and after that you create an action plan to execute, to implement that. Okay. I like to say that if you don't know where you're going in your career, whatever you do, every action you take, every job you apply for, every interview you do, it's a waste of time and money, because you're kind of pointing out to different directions without a reason, without a real motivation, without a strategy behind that. So if you start applying for jobs, because that's what most of job seekers do, right? When they reach out to me and we start talking, I'm like, so what have you done so far in your remote job search? What are you struggling with? Just to understand, right, what is going on with the other person. 99% of the times I get this reply like, I'm already applying for jobs, but I didn't get any reply. So I've been applying for jobs for 2 months, 3 months, whatever. So job seekers tend to think that applying for jobs is the first thing they should do in the job searching process, but it's not. First, because this is what everyone else does. And second, because it's not the most effective way to land a new job. What? Yes, stay with me. I'll explain more later on. But for now, I want you to understand that instead of start applying for remote jobs, 10 jobs per day, 20 jobs per day, whatever, without any structure, any plan, any clarity, instead of that, my recommendation is that you take a few steps back and that you first define your life and career goals. What do you want to achieve in your life in 6 months, in 1 month, in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? How do you want your life to look like? Where do you want to live? Do you want to have a family? Which kind of job do you want to do? What is the impact that you want to make? Where do you want to work from? Do you want to wake up and see the sea? Do you want to wake up, open the window and see the mountains? So dream about it. It always starts with a dream, and then we take action to make the dream reality, right? But defining your life and your career goals, it's extremely important. I suggest that you write them down, because if you just think about it, they kind of disappear, right? But when you write them down, you're taking the commitment to a different level. You can always revisit, read again that paper. So define your life and career goals, and understand also that most of the remote jobs available, they have some kind of restriction. They won't be for everyone. They will require you, some of the remote jobs, right, will require you to be physically in one city or one state or one country, or they will require you to be in a certain time zone. So you need to understand that. Again, it's not any kind of remote job is good for me. No, they might have a requirement that you live in country X, and if you don't live there, you're going to waste your time applying for the job, doing the interviews and all of that. So understand that there are restrictions when it comes to remote jobs. So you need to know the kind of lifestyle you want to have, the profile you have, your nationality, your the reality that is possible to you. And after that, you create a plan to search and find and apply for jobs. Okay, so don't just go applying for remote jobs. That's not the most effective way to land a remote job. It's also very recommendable that at the beginning of the process that you get clarity about some of the important elements in the job search. And what I mean by that is like, which kind of industry do you want to work for? Have you thought about it? Like, which kind of industry do you want to work for? IT, the medical industry. I like education. I like innovation. I like, I don't know, design. So try to narrow down the industry you like to work for, the type of role. If you know the job title, even better. But if not, like which 2 or 3 possible roles that you're interested in, the type of company. Do you like startups? Do you like big companies? Do you like more innovative company, modern with young people? Do you like more traditional working environments? You need to define the type of company, right, that you want to work for. Also the skills you have. I mean, you need to be realistic, right? If you randomly apply for any kind of remote job that you don't have the profile for, it's a waste of time for you, it's a waste of time for the recruiter. So reconnect with your skills and understand which remote options are available for you with the skills you have. So understand deeply what kind of remote jobs you're looking for. Check the reality of the remote job market, right? What is really available out there? I have some ideas here, I have some preference, but let me see if those jobs that I have in mind, they exist companies are hiring for them, or companies have those departments, those positions. So check, identify the options available, check if they really exist. And then only after that, you're going to start structuring the necessary actions that you're going to take to get there. Actions, daily actions, monthly, daily, weekly, monthly actions. So you start from small, you kind of break down the actions, but you know you're going towards the right direction because you have a better clarity about which kind of remote job you want to get and what is the next step in your career. Okay, once you have more clarity, then it's time to take actions and no more excuses, because we try to justify, no, I'm not, searching for remote jobs yet because I still need to do this. No, I will next month. I'm very busy at work, or my kid is sick, or I have to do that report to my manager. So stop making excuses and start soon your remote job search. I didn't say start applying for jobs. I said start the remote job search by the clarity, which is the first step that I mentioned here. All right. If you have any question, any comment, let me know in the chat, and we are moving to step number 2. Step number 2 has a lot to do with this part here. Our brain, not our hair, our brain. Our mindset, what goes through our mind when we are in the process of searching for remote jobs, right? Because I know I have been there before, so I remember clearly. And you probably are also job searching, so you know what I'm talking about. It can be exhausting, right? It can be longer than we think. It can be very emotional. It can be like desperating some days to be searching for a job, and time passes and nothing happens, and I have bills to pay and my friends are working and everybody's working. I feel like I'm the weird one among my friends. So I get it. I get it. Job searching can be exhausting, can be emotional, can take longer than we think. It's completely normal to feel like that. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with the job searching, I hear you, I get you, and it is part of the process. Most of job seekers will, at least from time to time, feel a bit like that. So when you feel stuck, when you're feeling low energy, low motivation, you start even doubting your self-esteem, like, will I ever be able to land a remote job? That those kind of crazy thoughts come to our mind, right? So when those things happen, it's exactly the moment you need to work on your mindset, which is the step 2 I'm sharing with you. Work on your mindset. How to do it, Juliana? Well, there are some ways here that I want to share with you. So first, it's very helpful that you amplify your perspectives and to overcome limiting beliefs. So start trying to see things from a different perspective. What if I do this? Or what if this is not the only way? What if I can try something different? What if I talk to someone new and I get some ideas? So try to amplify your perspectives, because this is going to help you to overcome those beliefs that are limiting yourself. And I want to congratulate you, because being here in this live means that you're already overcoming your amplifying your perspectives, right? You're here, you're learning from me, you're rethinking your strategy to land a remote job, you're hopefully taking notes. So this is the kind of activities that will help you to amplify your perspective and hopefully overcome your limiting beliefs. So well done for being here. You are working on your mindset right now. Amazing. So you're already implementing step 2. But there are more ways to do that. So let me share other options with you. It helps a lot when you surround yourself with real people, positive people, friendly people that are already working remotely. Why is that? Because they are where you want to be soon in your career. They achieved what you're going for. So having those people close to you brings that feeling that it is possible. I can also be there. This is a reality, right? You bring this reality closer to you. So it can be like physically close if you can attend an event organized by a remote work company, for example, that some of the employees will be there. You can go there, but you can connect with them online on LinkedIn, for example, and be surrounded by them, see what they share in their LinkedIn profile every day, listen to their podcasts, reading their blogs. Find a way, okay, in person or virtually, to bring people who work remotely closer to you. That's going to help you a lot with your mindset to keep you more positive, motivated, and remind yourself that, well, this lifestyle is possible. Also, yeah, that's what I mentioned. Eventually, virtually, you can connect with them, you can learn from them, you can chat with them. So bring people working remotely close to you, to your reality. Okay, and in low moments, we all have low moments, moments that we start doubting, that we are not motivated, that we're thinking about, you know what, I'm just gonna give up this remote job search and I will settle for the job I have now, whatever, who cares? In those moments, it's important to remember why you are searching for a remote job. There is that famous book, right, from Simon Sinek, Connect with Your Why. Why do you want to land a remote job? Why this is important for you? Why are you doing everything you're doing in your life to land a remote job? What is your motivation, your deeper motivation for that? I listed some here. They might resonate with you, they might not, but when you work remote, you can pick up your kids at school. You can travel more. That's what I do, right? I'm also a digital nomad, so I work from different countries and different places while I work remotely. You can receive a higher salary, maybe get paid in a better currency, like a stronger currency. You can save time every day because you don't need to commute to the office and then go back. You can do a more meaningful job, a more impactful one that you like more. So remember those things when you are struggling with the job search, because reconnecting with your why will help you to keep going towards the right direction. And the right direction has a lot to do with step one that I mentioned before, which is the clarity. Okay, ready for step three? Creating the right strategy. Strategy. I like this word, and we'll talk more about it. Why strategy is important for you, remote job search. Okay, one of the reasons is because of something named the hidden job market. Have you heard about it? Let me know in the chat if you have heard about the hidden job market. If you had, just write the hidden job market on chat so I will understand that you know about it. A lot of job seekers don't know about it. That's why I'm bringing this, because it has a lot to do with the strategy you're going to use to land a remote job in 2023. And it has nothing to do with only applying for jobs, okay? The hidden job market is a name that refers to a situation that is most of the job offers, the real ones, the jobs that are available, they are open at the moment. People are searching for candidates, right, to hire for those positions. So most of the real job offers, they are not posted anywhere. They're not posted anywhere. You can go on LinkedIn, you can go on Indeed, you can go on any remote job board or a regular job board. You won't find those jobs posted. Study shows that it's up to 8%, 80, like, yes, 80% of the jobs available at the moment, they are not posted anywhere. So you can spend your whole day on LinkedIn, you're never going to find those jobs posted as jobs. But as you are probably wondering now, like how to have access to those jobs, because if you're talking about 80%, it's the big majority, right? If you just apply for remote jobs, let's think the other way around. If you just apply for the remote jobs that are posted on LinkedIn on a specific remote job boards, you're actually competing with only 20% of the jobs available, right? Because I just told you that 80% of the remote jobs and jobs in general, but I'm talking specifically about remote jobs, 80% of the jobs available at the moment, they are not posted anywhere. So if you just apply for the jobs that you see posted on LinkedIn or somewhere else, you are competing with only 20% of the jobs available. I want you to have access to 100% of the remote jobs. I don't know about you, but that's that's what I want for you. I want you to have access to all of them, so you have more options, more choices, more chances. Okay, so how to access the remote, the hidden job market, those jobs that are not posted anywhere? The main way to do it is networking. Yes, networking. And I know here you probably think you're like, I hate networking, I'm not good at network. Oh, there comes someone else talking about network. I know that the word networking lost a lot of power lately. Some people are almost allergic to it. They're like, oh, network, I don't want to do network. I get you. But stay with me, because you can network on different ways, on different levels, in a very professional and polite way, and achieve the results you want. Because remember, I wanted to have access to the 80% of remote jobs that are not posted, and networking is the main way to get there. So stay with me here, even if you're not a big fan of networking. I hear you, but just stay with me. Just keep your ears open to what I'm going to share here. One way to make networking more effective is creating it before you actually need it, right? What I mean by that is, if you approach someone, hi, I'm Juliana. Can we connect on LinkedIn? I'm looking for a job. Can I send you my resume? Is there any positions available in your company? People can smell desperation. Okay, this kind of approach, poor approach, very straightforward. Hi, this is my resume. Do you have any position? It doesn't look nice. It looks more like you're begging for a job. And I hear you if you're struggling with bills to pay, if you're struggling because you're months without work. I hear you. I'm not minimizing your situation. But what I'm sharing with you is that this is not effective. When you approach people, the only thing you have in your mind is like, I need to send my resume to that person. I need to ask if this person can like forward my resume to some. This is not a right approach, and people will feel it from your energy, from the way you're writing, from the way you're approaching them. It will not work out. So that's not the kind of networking I'm talking about, because I know it doesn't work. Okay, what helps instead is that you are in the right place at the right time. What do you mean by that, Juliana? Right place and right time. How am I supposed to know what is the place? I wish I knew, right? I wish I had a crystal ball. You don't actually need a crystal ball. You just need to amplify the chances that wherever you are, the activities you're doing, they are increasing the chances of landing a remote job. I listed some examples here on this slide, so let's review them. You can join online groups that are related to remote jobs, remote companies that you like, remote job search, people working online. So find those groups on LinkedIn. There are several of them on Facebook, on meetups, and all of that. So be part of a community of people who is also searching for remote jobs, working remotely, attending remote jobs events. So surround yourself with this kind of people. Okay. Once you know the companies, remote companies you want to work for, start connecting with people who work there. Bring them to your network, bring them to your reality, let them know that you exist, that you're smart, that you're a good professional, that you have nice things to share. So connect with people working in the remote companies you want to work for. Maybe you can take a course that will really help you to learn some skills that you need to work remotely. And in this course, who knows who you can meet in this course, right? Probably people who are also interested in the same technical skill, the same thing. So you already have something in common. Some companies, they have newsletters. They are normally for free. I think all of them are for free, actually. You receive them directly on your email inbox, and you are aware of things that are happening in your favorite companies. You can attend their events. If they have a podcast, you can listen to their podcast. If they have a blog, you can read the blog. So just bring the remote work reality closer to you. Be part of this ecosystem. Talk to people who are working remotely in the companies you want to work for. So be part of this reality. Don't, oh, remote work is like very, very far away from me. No, bring it closer to you. Okay. Ideally, you want people to know you, be familiar with your name, have chat already with you, maybe even a Zoom informal coffee before you apply for a remote job in their company. So let me say that again. Ideally, people will know you before you apply for the job. What it means is that instead of being just applicant number 427 that applied for the job, when they see your name, they're like, oh, I know Juliana. I've been chatting with her on LinkedIn for a while. I really like her content. This is the shift, So ideally, they will know you before you even apply for a job in their company. Okay. Also, try not to be boring. I mean, nobody likes boring people, right? So nobody wants to connect with a boring person, or maybe they connect and after they don't want to keep connected, so they unfollow you or they just don't reply to your message. So get out of your comfort zone and try to be interesting, try to be nice, try to be helpful, try to add value every time you exchange a message, every time you meet someone, right? And the good part, the good side of that is that you can learn how to network, you can train, and it will get better the more you do it. So some people think, oh, I'm not good at networking, that's it, that's the end of it for me. No, no, stop that. You might have been networking in the wrong way, or maybe not with the right intention, or not with the right approach. So you can totally change, improve, experiment new things, get out of your comfort zone, and try to improve the way you do networking, even if you feel a little bit awkward at the beginning, right? Like small talks, thank goodness, am I going to schedule a Zoom call with someone I have never seen before? What am I going to talk about? That's so weird. Nobody will accept. It might feel awkward at the beginning, especially here in your brain, but once you start doing it, improving the way, learning, see what is more effective, be more aware of how do I value and respect the time of the other person who accepted this informal coffee with me, it's possible to go from awkward to confident and enjoy and making friends and learn from where they work from, and hopefully open doors for them to hire you in the future. Remember that LinkedIn is a great place to do it. Even the free version, I'm not talking about you paying premium. You can pay premium if you want, but it's not a requirement to network on LinkedIn, okay? Step number 4, take care of your online presence. Oh, this is so important. And job seekers minimize that, Every time I ask this question, people are like, oops, oops. The question is your LinkedIn showing your best version online? If I go right now and check a LinkedIn profile, is it updated? Is it optimized? Are you proud of what is in your LinkedIn profile? Do you think it helps to sell you as the best candidate available in the market right now? It's a powerful question. Most of people will probably say no, but anyways, leave the question out there. The same thing regarding your resume. Does it makes you look like the best candidate available? How is your resume? When was the last time you updated your resume? Do you even know where is your resume in your computer? Like, does it show that you want to work remotely? Does it reflect that you work remotely in your previous job or in your current job? Like, how is your resume looking like? What about your cover letter? Oh, but people still read cover letters. That's another discussion. Let's imagine that you're forwarding your cover letter to the remote company you want to work for. Is it specific for that job? Is it a powerful document? When people read it, they're going to say, wow, I want to interview Juliana. Or it's going to be just like, man, just one more document, waste of time. So this is online presence. All those things matters because probably know it, but let me say it just to make sure you have no more excuse. Recruiters and hiring managers, they will check you online. They will check your LinkedIn profile. So what will they find out? What is the impression that you're giving with your online presence at the moment? So I want to help you. I want to be very practical here. So after this live, you can implement the change and improve right now. I mean, don't leave the live, right? After the live, you can improve your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Are you ready for some practical things? So let me know in the chat, like, right, I'm ready. If you want to learn practical things that I teach my clients, I'm gonna also teach you here. Let's start with the resume or your CV, okay? How can you mention, how and where can you mention that you have previous remote work experience, okay? One way, one place to do it is in the summary. That small text that you add, you have your personal details. Right after, you should have your summary. If you don't have a summary in your resume, make sure you add it now. So the summary is a great place to mention that you work remotely. I shared one example here. So you could say something along the lines, working fully remote since 2019, or you can just say short version of it, remote worker, or you can even say, I've been working remotely for the past year. So just make sure in the summary you mention that you have remote work experience, okay? When you list a company in your resume, normally you're gonna mention your job title, right? In this example that I shared, I mentioned Vice President and Global Head of Strategy. That was the job title of this client. Then you're gonna mention the company's name. I didn't mention here just to keep her identity safe, but you're going to mention the company's name. And then after that, you'd probably mention the country, Austria, Germany, Portugal, whatever. But if you work remotely, the easiest way to show the recruiter is, instead of putting Austria, Germany, whatever country you work physically, if you are working remotely, you just write remote, as I just did here. So it's a very clear and effective way to show the recruiter in your resume, hey, I work remotely, I have remote work experience. You can start implementing that right now. Another place, another section of your resume that you can mention that you have previous remote work experience is in the achievements. So if you don't have achievements in your resume, please write down that you need to add them. If you don't know what is achievement, you still need to add them. Very shortly, achievements are the results that you generated to the company, the positive impact that you made. So instead of just describing the tasks that you did in the job, you move from a descriptive resume to demonstrating that you generate positive results and impact in the company for your clients, for your manager, for your team. Okay, so in the achievements, you can also find a way to demonstrate that you work remotely. So in this case, by this client, I mentioned successfully planned and executed the office shutdown plan with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic while working remotely. So it's clear that I was successfully doing what I was doing. I mean, not me, that's a client's resume, but she was successfully still successful doing her job and did this transition from office to online environment, and it worked out well. So it's a way to mention that in the achievement. So trying to find other ways to use the achievements to demonstrate that you have remote work experience. All right. When it comes to LinkedIn, we spoke about resume first. Now, when it comes to LinkedIn, there are three main areas that you can mention that you have previous remote work experience. It applies to hybrid also, okay? I'm saying remote, but if you have hybrid work experience, you can do exactly the same thing that I'm sharing here. Just instead of writing remote, you're gonna write hybrid, right? One way is the headline. The headline is that line right under your name on LinkedIn. So I shared mine here. So I shared mine. There is my name here, this one in black, and then below that, this is the headline. It's one of the first things you're going to see when you land into someone's profiles on LinkedIn. So that is a good place to mention remote work experience. So in my case, I mentioned 9 years remote worker. So that's a good place, very visual, very impactful place on your LinkedIn profile to mention that you have remote work experience. In the about, also about or summary, this is the equivalent to the summary in your resume. So the same idea applies, right? The about section on your LinkedIn profile is extremely important. It's at the very beginning of the profile, so the chances that the recruiter reads that is very high. So you want to make the most of it, highlight the best things in your profile, and one of them, if you have remote work experience, will definitely be the fact that you have remote work experience. Also in the experience, you should also mention in the experience, in the specific experience section on LinkedIn, you should mention that if you are working out remotely, make sure you mention that clearly. The first bullet point, you mention it is remote, okay? In case you're wondering, look, I just worked remotely, Juliana, during the pandemic. It was like short period of time, 2 months, 6 months, whatever. What shall I do with that? The same thing. It doesn't matter if it was 2 months, 6 months, 2 years. Make sure you use the same areas in your resume and your LinkedIn profile to highlight that. So experience working remotely during the pandemic is super valid. You want to make the most out of that. Okay. Step number 5, differentiate yourself from other candidates. Differentiate yourself. At the beginning, I mentioned that applying for jobs is not the most effective way to land a remote job, right? This is actually the least effective way to land a remote job in 2023, especially the best ones, the best companies, the ones that more people are applying for. So forget I just apply for a job and I wait for them to contact me. This is not what is going to help you to actually land a remote job. Let's see what you can do instead. Okay, what are some more effective ways to land a remote job, leaving a little bit behind the just applying for jobs. Okay, it's important that you create a job searching routine. Okay, block your calendar in advance, commit with yourself, with your job search, prioritize that. If you just do it when you have time, when you're not super tired, weekends, it won't work out. So you need to create a routine, you need to block time in advance, you need to commit to what you are doing. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Remember the goals that we spoke at the beginning, right? Your life and career goals, and then align your strategy. How are you gonna get there? So have a strategy, not randomly applying for jobs without a plan, without a strategy to do that. You need clarity on your goals, and you need a strategy that will help you to get there. Getting out of your comfort zone is extremely important, because if you have been trying to land a remote job until now for months and it didn't work out, if you keep doing the same thing, guess what? Probably it won't work out well. So I know it can be uncomfortable for job seekers to try new things, especially the ones that they have never done, like, I don't know, approaching someone on LinkedIn or posting some content or inviting someone for a virtual coffee. I mean, there are so many things that can be done, but even if it's out of your comfort zone, if it is part of the strategy that will help you to get there, I strongly recommend that you give it a try, because it's more effective. Even if you don't feel comfortable in that, it's more effective to try new things aligned with your strategy and your goals than just to keep applying for jobs. Okay. Another thing that helps a lot is that you create a list of the remote companies you want to work for. Juliana, I not even know what are the remote companies out there. Like, it's all new for me. That's okay. That's okay. But now you know that you need to be familiar with those companies and be able to create a list of companies, a list of remote companies, and the ones you like. Because as I said also previously, just because the job is remote, it doesn't mean it's a good job for you. Just because the company is remote, it doesn't mean it's a good company for you. So you need to be familiar with remote companies and identify the ones that you like, the ones that's like, I would be super happy if I could work in this company. Well, first you need to know which companies you're talking about, right? Create a list, 10, 15 of those companies, and then you're going to identify people who work in those companies. Who is there doing a similar job that you're doing? Who would probably be your hiring manager if they hire you for this company? So start identifying the strategic people in those companies. And then start creating connections with them. What, Juliana? Reaching out to them? Yes, reaching out. There are several ways to do it. We won't have time to see all of that in details. I go further in this topic with my clients, but for now, please get this idea. Once you identify the remote companies you want to work for, who are the key people that you want to connect, it's time to start creating those connections, right? Strong connections. Eventually, hopefully, fingers crossed, those connections will lead to referrals. They will refer you for open positions in their companies. We don't know yet. So you do your part now, and let's see what happens later on. One way to create this relationship to stand out from others, right? We are talking about ways to stand out from other candidates, is creating a video. A video? Yes, a video. So instead of just sending your resume, you can send a resume plus a video, or you can send just a video for a new connection that work in the company, the remote company you want to work for. There is a program, it's for free. There is the free version and the paid version, but you can start with the free version called Loom. It's very easy. You can share your screen, you can record yourself. Again, getting out of your comfort zone. But if you send a personalized video to your future hiring manager in the remote company you want to work for, I can tell you very, very few job seekers do it. So you will stand out from others. Oh, but what do I share in this video? 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. Say why you're interested in the company, why you want to connect with the person, highlight your skills. There are different ways to do it, but just by doing a video, recording a video and sending it to someone in the company, you're already standing out from others, right? You can send samples of your work. If you work in marketing, you can create a, easy marketing campaign for the company. If you work in sales, you can draft a sales plan and share with them. If you work in HR, you can share a couple of ways to find new candidates or improve the I don't know, the trainings they have. Whatever you do, whatever you know how to do, you can show that upfront to the company. Again, very few job seekers do it. Portfolio is a way that you can do that. It can be done on a video, on a PowerPoint presentation, a simple Word document. Don't overcomplicate the way you're going to do it. It's more like I want to show to this remote company before they hire me, before they interview me, the value of what I do, the value I can provide. So I will show upfront samples of my work. That's very effective, and very, very few job seekers take the time, because that's work, right? It takes time. Most of job seekers will never do this. If you do, you are standing out from others. Also, follow up with the connections. Okay, when you reach out to someone in the remote companies you want to work for, strategic people, you really want to make that conversation go. So if you get no reply, wait a couple of days, send another email, another LinkedIn message, comment on the person's post, comment on the YouTube channel if the person has one, send a note, find different and creative ways to be reminded by the person. People get busy, so don't take it personal if they don't reply, but it's your interest that they reply back. So do the follow-up. Okay, and step number 6, last but not least, get ready for the job interview, for your remote job interview, right? Let's assume that you implemented step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're already having remote job interviews. Ooh, how exciting is that, right? Yes, but remember, you are never over-prepared for an interview, right? You can always improve something, practice something else, even if you have done interviews before, because I heard that before. No, I'm very good with interviews, job interviews. I've done more than 10 job interviews in my life. I mean, good for you. But like, don't take for granted that because you were successful in previous interviews 3, 4 years ago, whatever time it was, you are going to be successful now. Just because, right? Preparation is your friend. Preparation will help you to increase the chances that you are approved in this interview. So prepare for it. Let's see some ways to prepare for a remote job interview. Basics are always welcome. So investigate about the company, get familiar with the remote company you are applying for. I'm assuming that if you are applying for this company, going for the interview, you already selected this company as one of the remote companies you wanted to work for. So you probably did some kind of research about the company before, but now it's time to do it again, or to do it deeper. Okay, it's more than just glancing the company's website 5 minutes before the interview. It's another level of investigating about the company. Okay, search for them on Google, search for them on YouTube, check who works there, see the content they share, check new projects that the company is doing, what is in the news about them. So the more information you can get, the better. And then ask yourself, like, is what the company is offering, the way they work, and the projects and all of that, is it going to help me to achieve my career goals? Is really this the kind of company I want to work for? Because it might look great from the outside, but then when you get to know more about the company, it might change your feeling. It happens to some of my clients already. It was like, wow, company was look amazing in paper, but then further down in the interview process, I didn't like the way people are treating me, or what they are sharing about the company. So ask yourself, like, is this job that I'm applying for bringing me closer to my career goals? If the answer is yes, amazing, go ahead, apply for the job, connect with people in the company, do everything that we shared until now. Okay, but it's important that you know more about the company so you can make better decisions about if you want to really go for that job and move forward in the process or not. Okay, mistakes that I see happening in the remote job interview. I mean, I've interviewed, I don't even know how many candidates in my life. Once I calculated, I think resumes, between reviewing and writing, up to 72,000 resumes. 72,000, yeah, 15 years as a recruiter. So it's a lot. Job interviews, I can't even calculate how many job interviews I did. So there are mistakes that are recurrent, that they happen very often, way too often for my taste. One thing is talk about you all the time. But Juliana, it's my job interview. Who should I talk about? Well, I mean, yes, of course, you're going to talk about you, but instead of just talking about why you want to work for this remote job, because I don't want to commute, because it's just easier for me, because I want to work for a cheaper country. Those could be your reasons, that they could be valid reasons, but again, they want to demonstrate that you are the best candidate available for the company to choose you. So instead of just focusing on you, try to demonstrate that you're a good fit for that position because of your skills, because of your background, because of your motivation. So you will demonstrate that they're looking for this on the job description. I have this. They are looking for someone with this experience. Hey, I have this experience. They are looking for someone that can do this. I can do this, and I will demonstrate you because I did that in the past. So it's a slightly shift, but that makes a big difference. So the company will want you to work for them. I know you want to work for the company. That's why you're doing the interview, you're applying for that. I get that part. But now it's time for you to be interesting from the company's perspective. You want them to say, wow, this is the best candidate. I really want to hire this person. Okay. And now, going towards the end, I know it was a lot of information I said it was going to be, but I tried to condense as much as possible to add a lot of value to you. Remember that everything that I shared you, I already tested with myself in my own career, with my career coaching clients, and they had great results. So that's why I am sharing that with you. All tested, all validated already. I want to invite you to take a few seconds now. If you want to share in the chat, even better, like one action, one thing that you can implement tomorrow to speed up the results of your remote job search. I shared so many practical things, so many. I don't even know how many practical steps that you can follow to get closer to your dream remote job. So if you want to share in the chat one thing, only one thing, that you commit to yourself, to your career to implement tomorrow, that will be great, because otherwise it's just blah, 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 me talking, you listening, and you're not implementing. And implementation is what will bring results. So if you want to share in the chat one action, one thing you want to implement, you commit to implement, I'll be happy to read and then support you and send you good energy for the implementation. Okay. Also, I want to open for questions. We have a few more minutes, a couple of minutes. If you have comments, if you have questions, if you want to share a bit about your situation, one specific question that you have, I'm here to read you in the chat and to ask, to answer, not ask, you ask, I answer, to answer your questions. So let me check here what is on the chat. So informative, thank you. Thank you for this comment here. Dolly said, I discovered that I had some signs of imposter syndrome and that it has affected me personally for many years. Well, me too. Me too. I actually shared today on Instagram something about it, about imposter syndrome. So I think it affects all of us, Dolly, from time to time. But if you're aware of that, you can face it faster and you can stop the process. So yeah, well done that you at least identified that, right? And you said, I'm glad that I discovered that. Exactly. And I am working on stopping exactly this syndrome and get rid of it sooner than later. Exactly. Yes, amazing. Hi, Gisele was here. Leah. Okay, Leah said that she will add hybrid experience on her CV. That's amazing. CV and LinkedIn also. Okay, Leah, don't forget to also mention that on your LinkedIn profile. The information on the resume and on the LinkedIn, they should always be aligned. So if you mention hybrid on the resume, but you don't mention that on LinkedIn, it can generate confusion to the recruiter. The recruiter can say, oh, she's talking about hybrid job here, but not hybrid job there. So just make sure whatever you add on the resume, you also add on the LinkedIn profile. Also because it's available information. So we want people who find you on LinkedIn to be able to access this information also. Gisele said routine to find jobs. Yes, yes, G. Routine is it's hard, right? Especially for people like us. I know Giselle, we are friends, so we have the same lifestyle. We're both digital nomads and all of that. We have a lot of flexibility in our life. So for us, creating routine can be like, oh, I struggle, right? But it's important. That's how we achieve results. Even if it's like 30 minutes per day that you're going to dedicate to the job search, it's better than nothing. So start with short period of time, block your agenda in advance, and then there are there will be more chances that you're gonna land it. Leah said, Alisa said, reach out to more key players at my dream job companies. Amazing, Alisa, amazing. That's so important. That's probably a bit out of your comfort zone. I don't know. I still feel a bit uncomfortable doing that, but I know that the results will come. So first, identify your dream remote companies. Then the key people, I would suggest people that are doing a similar job that you're doing, or the ones right above you, like a future hiring manager, and you can target them initially. So amazing. Let me know how it goes, because that's a big, bold movement, but a necessary one. So well done, well done. Leah said, I have a question. How to overcome taxes barriers? A barrier, many companies only hire remote workers from their own country only. I live in Argentina. In advice there, Leah, this is the situation, right? Taxes restriction. So basically, companies say we don't have an office or a legal entity in your country, so we cannot hire you. Some companies do that, and they have partner companies that do all the paperwork in a legal way and make it possible. So, for example, Remote, the company Remote is one company that does that. So you can search online Remote, just like remote job, but just Remote is the company's name, and you can check the plans they have. Maybe share their contact with the remote companies you want to work for, and say, hey, if you cannot hire me, but if you think I'm a good candidate to your company, I have the right profile and all of that, there are companies that can make the taxes part doable. So there are companies that are specialized on it. But yes, it is a restriction. So as a person, there is very few that you can do, but you can bring the news to the company that says we cannot hire in Argentina, and say, hey, I know there are companies who make this process possible. They have legal entities in different countries, and they can hire me through those companies. So check a bit more about it. That's it's going to make a big difference. Dolly said, I'm going to implement the change in my LinkedIn and getting more organized with my job search. Amazing. Two big things. So remember to break down into small actions, right? What change are you going to implement in your LinkedIn profile? When? Today, tomorrow, until Sunday. And also the job search, put time, put some deadlines, block that up front in your agenda. That will help, okay? Alisa said, do you have any suggestions on how to use LinkedIn posts more to an advantage, appeal to recruiters or hiring managers that I connect with? Okay. Every post you write on LinkedIn, post video content, right, that you share on LinkedIn should demonstrate that you are an expert in whatever you do, right? You know what you're doing, you have knowledge, you are professional in that area. Second, that you are a nice person. So no aggressive posts, no criticizing other people's posts. Just keep like a nice tone. And if you can talk about remote work somehow, that will also help, okay? But mainly try to add value with every post you create, because when you talk about what you do, about your industry, about the clients you help, about a new course that you did, about, I don't know, how the job market is transforming, how your previous remote work experience, in case you have, how it transformed your life also, it will make you look like an interesting candidate. And remote companies, they want to hire interesting people that are qualified, people that know what they are doing. So you start by adding value in every single post you did. Keep in mind, like, my goal is to be seen as an expert in my area and someone that could add value to their company. So that will guide you when you're writing any content on LinkedIn or any social media, actually. Leah said, how can I filter on LinkedIn remote companies that actually allow to work from anywhere? I don't think there is a specific filter for that, okay? But when you read the job description, sometimes they will mention that. when you check where people work from, you click on the company's profile on LinkedIn. You can check who works there and see if everybody's from the US. Probably they don't hire people from your country, but if you see a diversity of countries and location, that's a hint also. And there are some lists of companies that work from anywhere, so you can follow those lists, and you know already that those specific companies, they hire from anywhere. Last comment here so we can finish. Dolly said, here in Texas, they are not open or flexible with the remote idea. Well, Dolly, some states, some countries, they are less open than others about working remotely, which is a pity, but we also have options in other countries, other states, right? Other cities. So that's the beauty of remote work. We don't need to be only focusing on the state or the city or the country that we are. We can try, and we should try to expand it to other opportunities. So yeah, go a bit wild than Texas. I hope their mentality changes, but there are other places that you can also search for remote jobs. All right. Alisa, thank you for being here. Thanks everyone for being here. If you're watching the record, if you watch until the end, well done also. I'll be here again next week. I will do weekly lives on LinkedIn that will be also transmitted live to YouTube and to Facebook. So you can watch me in any of those channels. And I hope it was valuable for you to help you to land your dream remote job sooner. Okay. I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye bye.